you.
I won't see her until May.
Okay.
Oh, you know.
All right, call the village council to order. Please stand for the pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Vicky. Here. Cheryl.
Here.
Weaver. Here. Winslow. Here. Hewitt.
Here.
Marner. Here. Toma. Here.
I would like to take a moment and reflect on the work that Howard Evanhall did in this town. He did a lot. I mean, he was always involved as long as I can remember, and that's going back to the late 90s. That feels like a long time, but I'm sure it was many years before that he was involved. He was a great man, and I think I'd like to take a moment of silence to honor him. Thank you, everybody. With that, we'll move on. We'll need a motion to approve the agenda. So,
Support.
motion's been made and supported to approve the agenda. All those in favor, signify by saying aye. Next up, we have public statement regarding current agenda items only. 12 people. All right, okay. Next up, we have the consent agenda without accounts payable. So moved.
Support.
Motion's been made and supported to approve the consent agenda. All those in favor signal by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Next up, we have, two accounts payable. The first one, amount of $375,052.32.
So moved. Support.
Motion's been made and supported to approve. All those in favor signal by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next up, we have a root note invoice for $1,100.
So moved.
Support.
Motion's been made and supported. All those in favor signal by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained?
Abstain.
Motion carries. Next up, no items for introduction discussion, items for action, appointing planning commission alternate. We have Diane Wilson. I don't know if anybody knows who she is, but it's Turbo's wife. Anybody knows Turbo? She does not live in the village, but we are allowed to have two people, and she was next on the list. And this is an alternate position, it's for when people are sick or on vacation or whatever.
She's close.
Yeah, she, like,
I
right
think it's a
there.
good choice given her background. It seems like she probably.
She knows stuff.
Yeah, I think so too.
And she could bake.
I don't know her personally, but I've heard about her.
And she could bake. I'm just vouching for the qualities I know.
Well, so we'll need to, I guess I will nominate her, and then we will, you guys will need to vote on it. Support?
Is it a motion or nomination?
Well, I nominate him, and if someone motions to accept my nomination.
There we go. So moved.
Okay.
Support.
Motion's been made and supported to accept Diane Wilson as the alternate for planning commission. All those in favor signal by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. That'll be it. Next up, we have adopt the Pelican Street purchase resolution. I don't have a copy here, but oh yeah, I do.
I know, I'm trying to get to
It's
it.
basically authorizing Tom to sign the paper to buy the street sweeper we already planned on.
Yeah. We had discussed it, I just wanted to relook again. I thought I saw, I just wanted to look at the
Like 7 years.
payments, yeah, it was
$43,000
it was quite big.
Yeah, they are.
And I wanted to look at that final total again of what the interest was on that. I was like, wow.
They are super expensive.
Yeah.
Machines are, and it better last many, many, many years. Laurel one did, so.
We need something.
Yes, we do. We tried doing the thing where we split it with like Montrose, and that just, it didn't work out. It was a great idea, it just didn't work out. And I, a little bummed, but not surprised.
I don't feel like we got it a lot last year. There was a lot of debris in the bike lane
Yeah.
last year.
And we are required to clean the state high. Well, we're not required to, they pay us to, not law.
I can't get this to
So this is just authorizing Tom to sign it. We've already pretty much approved it, I believe.
Yeah, I think we did it fine. I make a motion, to adopt the Pelican Street sweeper purchase resolution.
Support.
Motion's been made and supported. All those in favor signal by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next up, we have the approved the Saginaw Futures contract, or the one we just reduced. $1,200. Need a motion to approve.
So moved.
Support.
Motion's been made and supported to accept the agreement for services from Saginaw Futures for $1,200. All those in favor signal by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. All right, next up, committee reports, infrastructure.
We have 2 meetings tomorrow morning.
All right. Yeah, Chuck will be there. Should have,
Josh and, who's the other one? Dylan. He's gonna be here too.
Okay, so I think you guys will have everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're doing the bid opening and then the initiation of sidewalks for this coming round of construction.
Make sure you keep all those minutes in case we gotta approve anything.
Okay.
And then bring us the top 3 or whatever. Anything else, Bill?
Nope, that's it.
All right. Finance and admin, no meeting. Right?
Right.
Public safety, no meeting, DDA.
That's sweet.
Okay, chambers coming up. Oh. Okay. Planning commission.
Meeting was canceled.
Okay. Rescheduling. Or that was just a
Probably,
regular-
it was just we had nothing on the agenda, we were just gonna go over the master plan, but given it was, Easter and what else? Spring break.
Yeah,
I
you had
think-
Easter.
Yeah, I think he canceled it.
Yeah.
It was fine then.
Yeah.
There's a lot going on.
They had a meeting.
Saw a plane coming out of there the other night.
I really wish I would have brought them up.
I tried to be there and it didn't work
Yeah,
out for me.
Anything major, like,
Nothing major. They were just going over their dates for the future. So we're out flying in July. The gun show was canceled.
oh,
Yeah, you mentioned
Well,
that
the
last
rules.
time.
The rules that changed in Michigan have created an issue with anybody having a gun show.
well, you know. Probably for the best.
So, and the Stoll is still believed to be on in August. They just don't know which dates. Those basically all I talked about.
I had an idea.
Oh, they got the windows. Anybody goes, if you ever go there, they have redone the inside, took down everything, repainted it. They got their hands on new windows and have repainted a bunch of stuff, so it looks way nicer. Bathrooms redone, doors were fixed. One door wasn't the door problem, it was the seal at the bottom. So he sealed it, and we're gonna wait till the ants wake up to see if they get it.
Isn't that that's a trailer, right?
Yeah, essentially. But yeah, there's new windows, doors, everything looks way different. Like nice, different.
They talked about that last year.
So, but the windows are sitting inside. Can't do the windows till it's warm. So,
Well, you can.
change the curtains. Everybody was guessing. Nobody could remember the color they were before. They were there for years. Nobody could remember.
Dust brown.
Faded from the sun.
Yeah, they were faded, but nobody could remember the color. Everybody was guessing. It was like a game. And the person that took them down, she's like, "No, they were, whatever color it was." You sure? Yeah, but that was it. Just their dates and all the changes inside the building.
Cool. Fire board?
Had 7 runs, bringing the total to 52 now. Thursday and Friday is a blood drive out to the fire department. Sunday and Monday is gonna be
This week,
training. Huh?
This week?
Yeah. The 4th and 5th. Training is gonna be Sunday and Monday on practical skills and communications. And the golf outing is set for June 15th this year. And Jeannie, would you put this in the paper again? About no burning, only in fire pits, and no trash or leaves. We had another one the other day, as you know, we had it burn inside the village. Sign up the fire department too when they do this.
Can we build them?
They get a warning, and then they get fined. That's underneath the new ordinance that we wrote up last year.
What I thought.
So, we've been warning them, and Scott's been keeping track of the warnings and that, so. And the fire board meeting is next Wednesday, the 10th, at 6 o'clock.
Just so you know, the lot in front of my house is township, so there's a big bonfire on there. That's in the township, not the
We
village.
still got every burning permit.
I'll call it, sure.
We'll see what it's burning in
I'll
the
burn
ditch across the
28
street too.
20 acres of land, brush, and a half acre.
Hey, if the fire department's got a permit, yes.
Alright, task force?
No meeting.
Alright. Parks Committee?
No meeting.
Alright, public statement, any topic? Limited to 3 minutes. Dwayne The Rock Johnson. He must have left, making a new movie with my kids. I'm a real smart guy.
Did you forget about Miss Mishler?
Just crossed out.
That was her signature, just fancy, I'm sorry, man.
Alright, any council member have a statement they'd like to make?
Yeah, I did. I wrote it down so I don't mess it up. Because I usually mess it up. After disagreements about the interpretation of an ordinance at the last meeting, and if there were any notes, I went home thinking to myself, I've taken notes and kept notes since 2016 from village meetings, committee meetings, everything I'm involved with, and decided to look back and found our discussions on the said ordinance that pertained to the last meeting's agenda item. They were in May of 2022. Finance and Admin had met on 5/11, discussed about continuing with a moratorium or a freeze. We decided that current businesses would continue, but there would be a freeze on any new businesses. Then on 5/17, the village council meeting, which you'll find in the minutes if you look online, this was discussed further. The idea that better notes should be taken should fall solely on the shoulders of council members, as we have an obligation to this community and therefore should have a place to reference on our own without guessing. This council's main goal should be to work together for the betterment of the community. We will make decisions that people like and will not like, no matter what. Keeping our own selves informed should be a priority. The ordinance in question that was passed was in July meeting 2022. Ordinance 2022-01 and 02 stated that no application for a marijuana license shall be accepted unless for approved and or licensed land owned or leased by a marijuana establishment, licensed for operation as of July 1st, 2022. It's also written we can review and end this ordinance on a yearly basis. So all of our current businesses were in operation at the time, so everything from the last meeting was done correctly according to the rules.
Anybody else? Alright, moving on, police chief. You don't have to read those numbers, but if you wanna summarize the, big ones there for us.
Okay, as many have heard, we had the pharmacy break-in in town. Officers have been working very hard, to be able to get surveillance, starting at 52, to where they left, going eastbound on Broad and turning up Clark. We are actually working with the FBI. They've agreed to work with us since the amount was well over $30,000. So they were able to get a search warrant approved, and we're waiting for information with having to do with IP address and being able to connect it to the person's phone, and then getting a name from that. So we're just waiting on the actual results from that to move forward. And I know everybody has heard and got videos of the arrest we had last week.
Oh, I submitted that so you can be our cops. Trust me.
He is out of jail. He has made several threats towards myself and Officer McGregor that was there, and the deputy. He knows what myself and Sergeant Connor and Officer McGregor drive. Like, he made it clear, like, he knows our vehicles. Today, actually, he
Does he know
decided to
you
go.
also carry a pistol
Yeah.
with you everywhere you go?
Yeah. He decided to go down to Owasso, where he was originally taken when he requested medical. He went down to Owasso today and threatened the security guard that was working that day. So I now have that report. I'm going to talk to the prosecutor tomorrow and hopefully get his bond revoked. Because obviously, he's a threat to all of us. Especially going all the way to the hospital to make a verbal threat. So I'm going to work on that, but as of right now, that's kind of...
That was at Memorial he did that?
Yeah.
They do not take well.
No. So, as of right now, we have court with him April 15th is our next court appearance with him on his charges. We started doing walkthroughs monthly with Deputy Henry and some of the schools. Kids loved it, especially at elementary school. They loved being able to see, they got to see Harvey, pet him. It was a huge thing. We also, it gives me time to speak with Deputy Henry of anything we should know, which we communicate if there's anything going on. We communicate, we have each other's phone numbers. For hours worked for the month of March, we had 923 hours and 30 minutes and 89 scheduled shifts for the month of March.
Harvey's drug trade, right?
No, Harvey is explosives, and he can also track, like, if we have a child that wanders away from the school, or elderly, or a suspect that flees, he's
I
able to
remember
do that.
tracking. I just
Yeah.
couldn't quite remember if drugs was one of those
Yeah, no,
distant.
he does
things.
article searches, but no drugs.
Good kid.
Go up to the fire department sometime when they train, you're watching.
Well, no, I was thinking.
Just
it was
not
like
personally.
Let me know if he does, I'll find some weed.
I was gonna say it's like a 2-for-1 sort of thing, right? You're gonna walk him around the school and he hits a locker.
You know, just having, and that's the thing, the high school, the kids don't know.
Right.
Like, they just see a dog in there, and they're like,
No,
oh.
they automatically.
Yeah, they don't know, so it's,
Tell you that.
They're panicked.
yeah,
Kids
so
are
it's good having
something
them
else.
just walk through.
Yeah.
They don't know.
Fair enough.
I suddenly get very sick and want to go to the restroom.
Yeah, oh, I gotta go.
Avoid the locker, go straight to class, while you hide all your good stuff from your friends.
Do you project that the hours worked is falling within your budget?
Yeah, and actually, Tom and myself have been working, we've actually had a lot of, vacations and sickness the past few weeks. So there has been times we have not been 24 hours. If the council's okay with that, we just won't always bill if it's not gonna fall in with overtime budget for the pay. So that's one of the ways we're gonna adjust and being able to watch it closer, is not filling some shifts.
Yeah, I don't think a lot happens in Chesaning.
Yeah, especially during the week, the
It
weekends.
is when all the break-ins happen in the cars. I mean, every time somebody posts it.
Hey, I need to be fly out of town before 30. I'm good with that timing too.
But yeah, that's what, we're coming up with ideas to try to, we have a budget set, a monthly budget to try to keep under, the allotted yearly budgeted overtime, so, coming up with ideas.
Thank you, Chief. Alright, I lost my notes. Alright, there we go. Tommy is at his funeral, so we'll excuse him. Next up, marijuana ordinances, and now that we're through this thing that we talked about in the executive session, I'm gonna be bringing more info to you guys soon, along with the amphitheater stuff, when I can get it all compiled. Probably be next month, by the time I get it put together. I'd like to get through this stuff, get it done, and move on to some other cool stuff in the summer that can improve the town, hopefully. Alright. Anybody have anything they wanna talk about with marijuana ordinances?
When are you still thinking about going over to look at the filtration?
I wanna see it when they're during their bloom time, cause that's when it smells the worst. Like, I wanna go there at the very worst and check it out. And I'm still waiting for Tom to give me some appointments, but I'm gonna give him some slack.
I got a question.
You wanna go with me?
I already know.
He's talking
I already
dogs.
went over there.
You all give up.
They're indoor.
Right. But that's the one that's got the better.
That, yeah, based on
Suppose.
when the three of us went through, I mean, it was an impressive
Out here?
deluxe out on Eden Way.
Oh.
His indoor facility, actually, I mean, it was impressive as far as odor went. Cause they were harvesting that day.
They were?
Mm-hmm. And the smell was negligible throughout the entire facility.
And I still can't find anything other than the formula for HVAC, the same thing as an HVAC system.
Yeah, and that's not, I mean, an HVAC moves the air, but you still need some kind of, filter. There's nothing out there on it. I guess we're gonna.
And then leave Laura, that's got it?
No, I mean, they're probably vague, like he said, because I know like the, rec, or not the rec, what do you call that, halls, entertainment venues.
Oh, okay.
Consumption lounge.
Consumption lounge.
They have rules on, I think, how many times your air has to be filtered, but it doesn't specify the filter media type. So like your air handler unit has to be able to move so many cubic feet per minute based on the size of your building, which is a good formula to have, but it doesn't specify what you filter it through. And obviously, a regular furnace filter is not gonna cut it.
I got a little something too.
Sure.
So, we had this discussion in the last meeting about the license. So when a license lapsed, was that like, was it paid for? Is it, I mean, when they say it's lapsed, does the company still have it?
No.
So,
I mean, they
there was
had
no,
it, but they
so
don't have it.
the license, are we gonna, so the license lapse, it's no longer, am I correct?
Correct, they couldn't, like, if they don't pay their license, they don't have it, they can't use it.
I just still feel that we're getting into the technicalities here on what's new licenses and what isn't. I still feel that was I feel like it was a new license because the license lapsed. And it should be, I understand that you're saying that there's still the room to expand out there. But I still feel that if the license lapsed, it's a new license. I mean, the application was with one lab, it wasn't the old license, wasn't it in TriMed's name?
I don't know, I'd have to look it up. I'm sure it was, but can't really like commit to it, I don't know what else.
Okay. I just feel like that's
All right, moving on, we are up for an executive session, so we'll need a motion to exit regular meeting and enter executive session. No decision will be made, nothing will be voted on.
Motion to enter executive session at 7:53 PM. Oh, exit regular session and go into executive session at 7:53.
Support. We have a motion to exit regular session and enter executive session, and with support, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. We'll just wait for everybody. On video up there.
Motion to adjourn.
Support. Motion's been made and supported to adjourn. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We are adjourned.
Wait for the green eye.
I think Tommy's a little busy today.
He's not paying attention.
The showing still. Maybe open?
No, it's over.